Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie, filed a lawsuit in November alleging Combs raped her and forced her to engage in sex trafficking. Jones alleges sex trafficking and sexual assault, also mentioning underage girls in the 79-page lawsuit. Claims made by Jones include hidden cameras in the rap mogul's home.
They seized drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant.
50 Cent has just dropped a bombshell that could change everything we think we know about Hollywood's hidden world.
Don't trust nobody. In Hollywood specifically, when you get there, a lot of people don't know how to say no. That's the difference between New York City and California.
50 Cent claims that arrest warrants are about to be issued for some of the biggest names in the industry, all connected to one of hip-hop's most powerful figures, Diddy. This isn't just another feud, it could bring to light the hidden, dark secrets that drive the elite.
Sean Diddy Combs sits behind bars awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges. We take a deep dive into the growing list of high-profile celebrities charged with sexual misconduct. We start with Harvey Weinstein. In April, the New York Court of Appeals overturned Weinstein's 2020 and sexual assault conviction and ordered a new trial. A retrial is set for November. Weinstein maintains his innocence and that all sexual encounters were consensual. Harvey Weinstein, once a Hollywood powerhouse, was accused by some 80 women, including Ashley Judd, of sexual assault and prosecuted in New York and California. He was acquitted of a 2010 sexual battery allegation, but a mistrial was declared for 2 other accusers. In 2020, he was convicted of rape and sexual assault, though New York's highest court later overturned his 23-year sentence.
This today is an act of institutional betrayal.
His defense attorney, Arthur Aidala.
So the Court of Appeals deserves a tremendous amount of credit for doing this based on the law, not based on opinion polls.
Weinstein's legal troubles were far from over. In 2022, he was convicted of rape and assault in Los Angeles and recently indicted on new charges in New York, where he remains behind bars. Weinstein maintains all sexual encounters were consensual. I believe I can fly. R&B singer R. Kelly was sentenced in federal court in New York and Chicago for sexually abusing underage girls and recording it. In New York, the I Believe I Can Fly singer was sentenced to 30 years on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, followed by a 20-year sentence for child pornography and enticement charges in Chicago. The 2 men who once teamed up for the hit song Satisfy You now face similar accusations. Like Kelly, Diddy is being held on sex trafficking and racketeering charges. Diddy is being held in the same jail as Kelly once was, Brooklyn's troubled Metropolitan Detention Center. Unlike Kelly, Diddy is also charged with transporting individuals for prostitution.
Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires,
reportedly begging his victims for compliance. Prosecutors report Diddy held private freak-offs where victims were drugged, beaten, and forced to participate while he recorded and masturbated. Diddy's attorney.
He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers. And I expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Diddy faces more than 130 lawsuits, mostly by Houston attorney Tony Busby.
Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old.
50 Cent, known for his success and fearless approach in hip-hop, has never shied away from speaking his mind. Now, with Diddy recently arrested on charges more serious than anyone expected, 50 Cent's claims suddenly seem much more believable.
Yeah, and I know 50, he did a recent interview with U.S. Weekly saying that the reason why rappers are quiet about, Diddy's situation is because they've been to his courts and they don't know what got caught on tape.
Bruh. Those people who was caught at Diddy party did not know that he had 250 tape recorders in that house. Now, that's a big house, but he had 250 tape recorders in that house that they took, that the feds found. So now with them finding all that and you being at a Diddy party, you know you may have done something that was caught on one of those tapes. You just better pray to God that they don't recognize you. Those people who know that they did something, no, they're not going to speak out. They're not going to say nothing. What part of the game is that? They are not going to come forward and tell on themselves. Nah, not at all. Ice Cube, he said it himself, bro. He said that Diddy's been targeted because of what he said about those folks and those people. Now, the people who was on those tapes may feel like Diddy might be targeting them. Because if he's asked about who is this, who is that, and he's under oath with the federal government, he got to tell them.
In a recent explosive interview, 50 Cent shared a cryptic yet chilling statement, hinting that this might mark the beginning of the end for Hollywood's untouchable elite.
That's 50 Cent on the Enthusiast podcast earlier this month, defending why he's always been outspoken about longtime rival Sean Diddy Combs. Now, the rapper's doubling down on his feelings in a new interview with People.
I'm not panicking, they are.
Following Diddy's arrest for allegations of abuse, which he has vehemently denied, and stories of wild parties coming to light, 50 tells the outlet, "It seems like I'm doing some extremely outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really me just saying what I've been saying for 10 years.
They don't want me to throw the parties no more, but we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life."
50 adding, "I'm like, yo, it's just my perspective because I stayed away from that stuff the entire time because this is not my style."
In the early 2000s, Sean Diddy Combs was at the height of his career, known not only for his music but also for his infamous, exclusive freak-off parties. Rumor had it these events were more than just parties, they were central to power plays, manipulation, and alleged leverage that Diddy used to maintain control over others. These secrets were so carefully hidden they remained largely invisible to the public.
Diddy was once known for his boisterous personality, often appearing as a fun-loving guy who would host great parties, including his now infamous White Party. But since his fall from grace, many who have filed lawsuits against him allege sinister activities were going on behind the scenes. At the center of the government's case against Diddy are his alleged freak-offs, which according to the indictment were elaborate and produced sex performances that Diddy arranged, directed, pleasured himself to, and often electronically recorded. But the freak-offs were first alluded to in Cassie's now settled federal civil lawsuit that was filed in November of last year and settled within a day. In the suit it says Diddy would repeatedly ask Cassie at random moments that he wanted a freak-off or FO, and she was expected to facilitate the location and hiring of male sex workers. The suit would go on to say during their relationship, the mogul would insist on an FO weekly, which would often take place in hotel suites. It's alleged Diddy would pay to fly male sex workers to his location, which included cities in the United States, and he would require Cassie and his staff to help him make these arrangements. According to the federal indictment against him, when the federal agents searched through his homes during the raids, they seized drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. In Cassie's suit, she alleged Diddy's assistant, who also set up the freak-offs, would stock the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. And Diddy always supplied her and the sex workers with copious amount of drugs like ecstasy, cocaine, GB, and ketamine.
Curtis 50 Cent Jackson had an inside view of Hollywood's elite lives and secrets. In 2006, he took his rivalry with Diddy public, accusing him of withholding information about the murder of their mutual friend, the notorious B.I.G. In his track The Bomb, 50 rapped, he knows more than he's letting on a line many took as provocative. But those close to him saw it as more than just rap beef, it was a warning shot.
That's why I don't be going to them puffy parties. They can hug me from the front and the back at the same time. What you talking about? I mean, look, if you into that, I'm fine with it. To each his own. I'm just saying this ain't my kind of party. I like it. So uncomfortable. I think I belong in the girls' bathroom. Like that is good. I hate when they leave me to talk because I always say the wrong thing. I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? You saw that clip? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that kind of shit. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with the shit I've been saying. I say crazy shit on my mom. There's no reason. No fucking reason. Oh wait, maybe I said that shit about Puffy because he got Tupac killed. I thought it was for no reason, but you understood that. I got a prison shit that I see online, right?
Over the years, the rivalry between 50 Cent and Diddy simmered but never fully faded. Diddy continued to hold a top spot in the entertainment industry, expanding into business ventures and hosting exclusive events, though rumors of strange activities always surrounded him. Then, in 2024, those quiet whispers erupted into loud accusations when Diddy was arrested on shocking charges, leaving the world in disbelief.
After he was indicted by a federal grand jury on some pretty serious charges. And with this major development in the case comes a renewed interest in the many allegations against the now disgraced rapper. So let's start with the federal indictment. That lists nearly 20 allegations against Diddy in support of the charges he faces: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. From the jump on page 1, prosecutors come out swinging, alleging Diddy is guilty of sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The indictment goes on to allege Diddy showed a pattern of abuse, mostly against women, that included verbal, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse, including the use of extensive grooming tactics.
For 50 Cent, Diddy's arrest felt like vindication, a moment of "I told you," so he took to social media to share a viral photo with actress Drew Barrymore, captioning it with a direct jab at Diddy, "I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house."
50 mocking his longtime rival after Diddy's arrest Monday night.
We brought him to New York about 2 weeks ago because we knew this day was going to come.
Where was 50 on Monday? Also in New York, making an appearance on the Drew Barrymore show.
What are you looking for? And do you know what you're looking for?
Yeah, but just real friendship.
Friendship, but not with Diddy.
You ain't no kin of mine.
50 posting a sweet picture of him and Drew on Instagram, but the caption tells a different story.
I have a lot of fun.
Here I am keeping good company with the Drew Barrymore show, and I don't have 1,000 bottles of lube at the house.
I'm not panicking, they are.
50 referring to the over 1,000 bottles of lube and baby oil found when the feds raided Diddy's home in March. One of many details revealed in his now unsealed indictment, which laid out the charges for his arrest.
But this was just the beginning. 50 Cent's remark wasn't just a dig at an old rival, it was a bold move to uncover a hidden world that thrives on secrecy. In a candid interview with People, he explained that these allegations aren't new, he's been speaking out for years. Only now, with recent events, is the world finally paying attention.
So, you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to it.
But was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go into the 90s, the Keefy D said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries, they went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
Notably absent from the conversation are some of Diddy's closest associates, A-listers like Jennifer Lopez, Leonardo DiCaprio, Justin Bieber, and Naomi Campbell. Industry insiders suggest that their silence may be due to fear acknowledging any connections could create a ripple effect, potentially damaging their own reputations and brands.
50 Cent just recently did an interview. And during this interview, he says that the reason why people are quiet about Diddy is because they've been to his parties and they don't know what's on tape.
Facts. Feds say they got a video of a male sex worker being sexually assaulted by him, and they trying to identify him from the footage. Think about that.
Are you saying of Diddy?
Yeah. Sexually assaulting a male sex worker. They got it on camera. They trying to identify the male from the footage. Shit get crazy, man. You know, I feel like 50 probably knows, have a little bit more insight, because you know, it's in the documentation that, you know, he had CCTV at the house for these parties. You feel me? They got that footage.
Yeah, and you know, 50, you know, he made the documentary about Diddy. You know, he's been going at Diddy for years, man. I mean, I don't even know what this started from. So they got a guy on video being sexually raped by Diddy, but they don't know who the guy is. Assaulted.
Right.
Okay.
And you know, I feel like by now they probably have identified him, but this was in a news publication.
I mean, Diddy got a lot of money, bro. You know, when he go to jail, he bringing $100 million in lawyers. He bringing 5, 6, 7 lawyers to the trial, dog. And you know, he gonna investigate every witness. Is gonna have detectives following them, or not detectives, but private investigators following them. Every single piece of dirt. You know what I'm saying? Like if Cassie tries to testify, they're gonna dig up every piece of dirt on her. And all that's gonna come out in trial, man. I mean, he just got unlimited amount of money.
However, not everyone has remained silent. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a former collaborator of Diddy, recently filed a $30 million lawsuit against him, alleging sexual harassment and threats. Initially, Diddy did not respond to the lawsuit. However, following the recent arrest, Jones spoke out in an interview with Rolling Stone, calling Diddy a monster and sharing disturbing details about the threats and manipulation he experienced.
And now to the latest on the sex trafficking investigation that led to raids on the homes of Sean Combs here in Los Angeles and in Florida. He has not been arrested or charged, though he is named in multiple assault and trafficking lawsuits. Eyewitness News reporter Sophie Flay joins us here live with more. Sophie.
Giovanna, in a 79-page lawsuit filed by a music producer who claims to have worked with and lived with Sean Combs for a period of time, alleges there were underage girls, hidden cameras, and sexual harassment at his home, all of which Combs denies. What were federal investigators in tactical gear looking for at Sean Diddy Combs' home in Los Angeles and Miami? Homeland Security says the raids were part of a months-long federal investigation, including sex trafficking.
If he's convicted, ultimately, he'll be in prison for a very long time. You know, one count of sex trafficking typically is 10 to 15 years in prison.
Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie, filed a lawsuit in November alleging Combs raped her and forced her to engage in sex trafficking. The two parties settled the suit the day after she filed.
The problem for Diddy is those allegations become public immediately, and they remain public. They're public record. So now that they're public record, and Cassie was brave enough to put her name to those allegations and not just file as a Jane Doe, well, that certainly empowers other potential victims of Diddy's conduct.
Multiple lawsuits have been filed against Combs, including one by music producer Rodney Jones. Jones alleges sex trafficking and sexual assault, also mentioning underage girls in the 79-page lawsuit. Claims made by Jones include hidden cameras in the rap mogul's home, saying, quote, Mr. Combs allegedly threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face in order to get what he wants.
For 50 Cent, these accusations only strengthen the warnings he's been issuing all along, and he shows no signs of backing down. Rumors are circulating that he is working on a documentary titled Did He Do It?, which aims to expose the hidden truths behind Diddy's empire.
Now let's get to a few of this morning's other big headlines.
Starting with a bombshell announcement amid the mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, Houston rapper 50 Cent announced yesterday that he's the executive producer of a docu-series about the sexual assault and allegations against Combs. The series will also discuss the sex trafficking and racketeering charges Combs is facing. The series is expected to make a premiere on Netflix, but a date has not yet been set.
Currently, Diddy is in custody without bail, facing charges that could lead to a life sentence. With 50 Cent actively speaking out, the question arises, will this case be a turning point in Hollywood?
It seems like I'm doing some really outrageous things, but I haven't. It's really me just saying what I've been saying for 10 years, which is kind of true. For 10 years, he's been calling out Diddy and others. Has he been vindicated, 50 Cent, do you think?
I mean, I don't think 50 ever really liked Diddy. Tony Yayo is a regular on my show, and that's Diddy's right-hand man. And he's always said that whenever they would have meetings with Diddy, he'd be like, listen, I don't like him, but I'll hear what he has to say. And I remember on Drink Champs, he had this one instance where he talked about where he was, I guess, talking to Diddy, and Diddy offered to take him shopping. And he was like, what, like I'm a girl? Like I'm a hot girl that you take shopping? Like, that's ridiculous. So, you know, I think that Diddy always, you know, rubbed 50 Cent the wrong way, and 50 always had a disdain of him. And now that this is happening, Diddy's just joining into the, 50 is actually joining to the circus. And he's coming out with his own documentary. It's going to be on Netflix. I'm sure that's going to be epic.
Jason, you know this world very well.
There's a lot of conflation. There's a lot of conflation happening though, because what 50 has been critical about is that, well, what he said is that Diddy was gay. All the trolling on Breakfast Club and everywhere around social media has been about Diddy's sexuality. I haven't heard him say Diddy slept with a little kid. I haven't heard him say Diddy drugged people. I mean, I haven't, but you know, if somebody else has, let me know. I think that there's just been so many different misinterpretations or connections of things that are just muddying the water, right? Diddy parties and Diddy After Dark, two different things. So a lot of celebrities that are afraid to be tied to Diddy After Dark are not coming forward saying like, hey, yeah, we've been to a Diddy party. I've been to a Diddy party. So I think, you know, trying to make sense of all of it, you know, has been mind-boggling because there are so many things being connected to things that are not a thing.
Diddy's arrest has revealed more than just personal failings. It has opened a Pandora's box of secrets, alliances, and fears that could shake the industry to its core. With 50 Cent leading the charge and others adding their voices, this narrative might just be the beginning of Hollywood's darkest chapter.